I hope you're all ready for this one. You want to know where your money's going? How about $10 million in taxpayer funds spent creating transgender animals? Shout out to Rep. Nancy Mace. I know a lot of people give her a lot of flack because she's done not so good in the past. People have claimed she was pro-trans. She even supported banning going to jail. I'm going to tell you this, my friends. I know there's a lot of people I deeply respect that say no forgiveness. You know, Benny Johnson has been saying now's the time to crush our enemies and things like this. Well, that ain't me. And for better or for worse, now's the time to dominate. Crush our enemies sounds fun. It might feel good. I want to win. Nancy Mace has, in the past year or so, done tremendous good things. And so I respect criticism of Rep. Nancy Mace, absolutely, as you should. And I think from that criticism, she's turned around and has now begun calling out bad things, exposing these wastes of taxpayer funds, and I'm here for it. Take a look at this. They were giving hormone therapies to mice, and it cost you $10 million. Now, here's what I love about this. The Democrats try to come out and say things like $10 million is microscopic in the grand scheme of how big this budget is. We're talking billions, trillions. And I'm just like, okay, give me $10 million. How about this? If you are a veteran and you are, come on, you want to play games, Democrats? If you're a veteran or first responder who dies or is maimed in the line of duty, you get $10 million. How about that? I think ultimately the problem is there are evil people who would probably, for $10 million, maim themselves. I know. There are bad people out there that would exploit the system. I'm just saying, if you came to me and said, hey, we got $10 million, we can give it to mice to make them transgender, or that one veteran over there who lost his leg could have $10 million, ain't no doubt about it. You and I know exactly where that money is going. Instead, I constantly hear about the VA is underfunded, how our veterans need these charities to take care of them, and that they're giving $10 million to these research companies for garbage like this. Okay, I will defend this program a little bit. I understand the idea of testing hormones on animals to see what it does to them. Fine. But if we're still at the point where we're testing these mice, why are they giving it to children? Here's a story from Fox News. Before we jump into it, my friends, make sure you go to castbrew.com and pick up a delicious cup of Cast Brew coffee. It's the best coffee you will ever have. It's about time, I think, for a new promo code. I'm gonna do this after we wrap this up. I'm gonna get a new promo code for all you guys. Create a sale of some sort for some reason. But a lot of people are saying Cast Brew is the best coffee they've ever had. I think it is. I do. And Ian's I don't get it, man. Ian's Graphene Dream, low acidity coffee. You guys are putting Ian through college. We know he needs it. He's not really going to go to college. I'm kidding. But he sold, I think, at this point, like 8,000 bags of coffee in a couple of months. We are working overtime to get these bags back in stock. That's crazy. Become a member over at Timcast.com. Check out our Green Room show. Everybody's giving it rave reviews. Behind the scenes, hang out with our guests. Super chill podcast. Literally just hanging out and talking. Some of them a bit more serious than others. Here's a story from Fox News. Last year, $10 million in taxpayer money was spent creating transgender animals. According to the White Coast Waste Project, Rep. Nancy Mace laid out the misuse of taxpayer money funding gender-affirming care for... That's just so hard. Gender-affirming care for animals during opening remarks at a subcommittee hearing Thursday. The hearing, transgender lab rats and poisoned puppies, oversight of taxpayer-funded animal cruelty. Last year, the White Coat Waste Project exposed more than $10 million in taxpayer funds that were spent creating transgender mice, rats, and monkeys, May said. These DEI grants funded painful and deadly transgender experiments that forced lab animals to undergo invasive surgeries and hormone therapies at universities across the country. Now, I just got to tell you, if the left is arguing that people should get the care they want because, gender dysphoria is life-threatening, what about these animals? You think the monkey guy wants to be a monkey girl by force through surgery? He's not even a monkey girl, just a surgically altered monkey. Jeez. Mace took aim at the Biden-Harris administration's radical policy agenda for allowing taxpayer dollars to fund surgically mutated animal genitals. The Biden-Harris administration spent $2.5 million to study the fertility of transgender mice. The Biden-Harris administration was so eager to propagate their radical gender ideology across all facets of American society that they were surgically mutating animal genitals. Taxpayer money went to that. You spent so much time wondering if you could, you never stopped to ask if you should. I don't know where that quote is. Is it Jurassic Park? Never stopped to ask if you should. What's that? If we should. Yeah, Jurassic Park. Your scientists were so preoccupied with whether or not you could, they never stopped to think if they should. Ian Malcolm from Jurassic Park, 1993. What a great quote. Can we make a mouse transgender? Let's do it. How about no? How about we just, I don't know, use that money to like fix a bridge or something? The U.S. government spends in excess of $20 billion a year conducting experiments on animals, Mace said. We spent over $1 million to find out if female rats receiving testosterone therapy were more likely to overdose on a date rape drug. What? That's what your taxpayer dollars were being spent on. Mace thanked White Coat Waste Project for its research. Justin Goodman, a White Coat Waste Project executive, Dr. Paul A. Locke, a professor at Johns Hopkins, and then they go to mention a lot of people. Beagles who were rescued from an NIH supplier were in the audience as a reminder of the real cost of animal experimentation. Mace said in 2022, Mace stopped a $1.8 million drug test experiment on beagle puppies. Today, most of the 27 NIH institutes and centers conduct or support animal testing, as does the FDA, the U.S. Department of Agriculture, Department for Veterans Affairs, DOD, and countless agencies. I hope today's conversation can similarly prevent taxpayer dollars from needlessly funding animal experimentation. I want to throw it back to Taylor Swift. Why was she getting booed? I don't know. Here's the Daily Beast. Nancy Mace drags animals into her latest transgender attack. Okay, look, if you're trying to defend trans people and Nancy Mace is saying we shouldn't spend $10 million on making transgender rats, you are just pissing everybody off. Like no one is going to agree with you on this one. You go anywhere in the country and ask, should we allocate $10 million of taxpayer funding to force animals to be transgender? People are going to be like, no. Give me the $10 million. Seriously. Honestly, I would rather they just spend $10 million in, I don't know, like copper and put a giant block in the middle of New York. Just like, there you go. You know the bean in Chicago? That. Instead of whatever it is they're doing. At least I can look at it. Here's what the Daily Beast said. Rep. Nancy Mace tested out her latest attack on trans people on Fox News. In the interview, Mace claimed that she uncovered a $10 million federal program for making animals trans. This information is being exposed to the American people, and I'm so grateful for it. And you have to ask yourself, why are all these Democrats having such a meltdown over exposing the waste, fraud, and abuse within these government programs? Indeed. Mace also heaped praise on Doge director Elon Musk and slammed Maxine Waters. She says, if this was reversed and a male conservative congressman was yelling in the face of a female security guard during the Democrat administration, what do you think this reaction would be? Asked Ingram. Mace replied, there would be outrage by everyone in the leftist media. I agree. I'm going to say this, too, because she was talking about if the roles were reversed. A lot of people are ragging on Nancy Mace because she's the first female to graduate from the Citadel Military Academy, I believe it is. And there's a bunch of guys being like, you're a hypocrite for saying men shouldn't be in women's spaces, but you, a woman, went into a man's space. And I'm going to go ahead and say that's a leftist argument. I reject that. And now immediately people are like, what do you mean it's a leftist argument? Tim, you can't say that. The leftist argument that men and women are the same. And so right now, the left argues because they're the same, why not share spaces? The right argument is that men and women are different. So let's play this out. Does any guy care if, like, Blair White goes into a men's room? No. You know why? Because men and women are different. Women care if males and trans women go into a women's bathroom. Men don't seem to care. Does anybody care if a trans woman wants to play on the men's team? That's like a biological male who wants to be a woman. No, because men are different. So, excuse me, here's the issue I see. A male military academy, I don't really care if a woman graduates from there because women are not a physical threat to men. They're just, to a certain degree, but very, very less likely. So for guys, you can make the argument that you want a male space because you want to be able to make male jokes and you don't want to offend women or all that. And so in that regard, I say, if a woman enters a male space, so long as she understands dudes are going to do dude stuff. Okay. There's no excuse for like guys to break the law or anything. That's not what I'm talking about. But if Nancy Mace joining the Citadel resulted in like new policies that restricted what men can do, what they can joke about, we got a problem there, right? Because then you are invading a male space. My point is this. If a woman goes to a male space and they don't change any of the rules or standards, I don't care. Women are not a threat to guys, and guys don't care that women are there largely. Some might because they're like, I don't feel comfortable making dude jokes around a woman. I get that. I do. I respect that. But the principal issue is with bathrooms is that you're getting like, not all trans people, but there have been instances where there's one famous individual, and it's not only one. There was one instance where a guy was taking pictures of little girls. There was one instance where a guy was literally not trans. He was exposing himself, and they didn't take action because they were scared they would get sued because he may be trans. But this was literally a guy in California who was a predator exposing himself to little girls, and they were like, he's allowed to be in there. So anyway, I digress. My point was simply like, men and women are different, and guys tolerate a lot more because they're not threatened largely by women. As for the wasting of taxpayer funds, there's no reason for Democrats to defend that. I'm wrapping up there. Smash that like button, share the show with everyone. You know, we got more segments coming up for you. Stick around, and I will see you all shortly.